My movie recollection awards with Vincent Cloud.
John Emmett.
And David Lauer.
And yeah, this is our first annual award show. It's Best Supporting Actor in Horror 1996. I decided to organize this thing because horror is rarely acknowledged at the Oscars, and there's always good performances in horror. You just gotta know where to look. And I believe I nominated five very good performances from '96. Apparently, there are some talk on Reddit about snubs. We could get into that later.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you yourself are guilty of snubbing, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And there's some good ones. Some I think are jokes. I don't know, but whatever. Um, so what we're going to do is we actually have three awards to give. We're gonna start off first by revealing the Reddit award. Then we're going to reveal the genre award, which is basically, John, you went to your coworkers and they have a big chat thing, right? Like a work thing.
Yeah, like we have like a nerd media channel basically, and I'm like, hey, this would be a good place to pose this question.
And it
No,
was,
no
huh?
spoilers, but I got 30 total votes.
Nice, nice.
Wow.
Um, so then, yeah, we're going to reveal that genre awards. And then at the very end, we're going to announce who we voted for specifically and why, I guess. And then I will then know the totals of all the people that are reached out on my social media, on Facebook and stuff, friends and family. And I will tally up all the awards or all the votes, and then we'll reveal a possible third winner. We don't know yet, but so let's start it off. Before we do the Reddit award, this is going to be called "Who Do They Play and What Do They Do?" It's basically just a very broad characterization, summarization of each character. So let's start with Jeffrey Combs. John, take it away. How do you summarize this character?
Wait a minute, I was not prepared for this.
Oh, that's
So
fine. I could
I
do
will
it.
say, just my initial thing is he comes in to the movie at 47 minutes, just completely unhinged. And, um, like he never lets up, I would say.
That's interesting. Because I thought Michael Douglas had a long wait. He
Yeah,
comes in at 45 minutes.
yes. And everyone else was quick enough that I didn't like bother to look at the the timestamp. But like I was starting to wonder like, is he in this movie? I had never seen it before.
Uh,
I had to look at the thing and I was like, okay, yeah, this is what the guy looks like. I haven't seen this character yet.
That's awesome. Okay, so what I wrote down though are specifics that the actor is going to have to do on screen. Oh, by the way, he plays FBI agent Milton Dammers, and I have just some things that he does in this movie. He gets a monologue, which is standard for some characters, but he's got a great monologue. He does some physical comedy, especially with the eye, a version of the eye contact where he's like hiding behind the door frames and stuff. He doesn't want to enter. He wears those gigantic contact lenses where like his eyes look so fucking like jacked up and like he's weird as it is, you know. He gets to fire machine gun. He vomits. He reveals his scarred up body. He sits on a hemorrhoid donut. He gets sprayed with a fire extinguisher. He's kicked in the gut. He's knocked down by a skeleton. And then finally, I just write down he gets his head shot off. where you see his spirit still in disbelief. Like, what? That's great shit. Anything else for him?
Not necessarily specific stuff he did. Maybe I'll save it for later to talk about like what I thought about the performance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next, we'll go into Michael Douglas. Dave, what do you got to say about Douglas?
Um, he's in The Ghost in the Darkness, and Michael Douglas kind of shows up as kind of like a cowboy outlaw character, and he just shows up and he's here to get shit done. You know, like Val Kilmer's got a problem, and Michael Douglas's character was it Remington?
Yep.
Yeah,
Charles
he, he's
Remington.
he's got tons of confidence, and he's like, "Let's get the shit done." He's like, "Oh, we got a job, we're gonna do it." And his performance is really good. I'll get into that later, but yeah, they're just in the African. They're out in Africa trying to build bridges, and he's there to take out these lions that keep fucking showing up in the middle of the night and killing everybody.
Yeah, he gets to show up as like the expert who I'm here to get shit done, but I don't want to like rock the boat. I don't want to mess up your situation. Like just a complete pro.
Hmm.
Considerate. That's what he called himself, right? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm a considerate man. And he does. He has so many chances to kind of throw Val Kilmer off, but he's actually really nice. He's supportive in a lot of ways, you know. Um, so I have written down for this, he's got long hair. I'm wondering if he grew that out himself. He speaks three different languages in this movie. I believe, it's English, and then it's like I think it's two different African languages, right?
That could
Um,
be.
yeah, he does a tribal dance. Not everyone can do that, right? He drinks blood. He does a spit take, not
With
from
the
the
blood.
blood. Yeah. He's got several monologues. He does an excessive amount of shooting with his rifle. I wonder if he got tired of having to carry that all the time, you know? And then finally, he does get drunk. Yeah. Not all characters in these movies out of these five get drunk. So there you go. Yeah, that's Douglas. Let's go on to Keitel. I will talk about Keitel. He is ex m- uh pastor a minister, right?
Yeah,
Well,
pastor, minister, whatever you want to say.
I don't know the differences at all, but he's
It's
lost
the
his
same thing,
faith. Oh, really?
I think.
He lost his faith, um, and he's kind of still in mourning. It kind of seems as well, just a little bit, but he's with his family, and they are taken hostage, and eventually it switches genres, but the fact that Keitel, well, into a vampire movie, but the fact that Keitel is a priest or whatever is still relevant. It's still a big part of the movie,
But in
you
a
know?
different way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what do you guys got to say about the Keitel character? Anything I left out?
Um, yeah, he gets to play like a very cool-headed, down-to-earth, doesn't panic, even though there's like no way he would be prepared for any of these situations. Like from the kidnapping in the beginning to the vampire attacks at the end. Like there's no way he's trained for this, but he remains level-headed the whole time.
I was going to say because he had God by his side, but he wasn't believing in that. uh, what about you, Dave? Anything else we
uh,
left about him?
I mean, no, not really. Like, yeah, he was kind of like the regular character because you had like the fugitives, of George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, and then you had like his kids, and then you had like all like the vampire zombies like coming after him. But he was like the kind of like the voice of reason for the most part of like, all right, this is a situation, this is what we need to do.
Oh yeah. And as an actor, he gets punched, does a shot of alcohol, wears glasses, does a southern accent. I think is he playing older? I think he is because he was
Oh
only
yeah, that's a good
56
question.
in this movie, but he
Yeah, I feel
seems
like
older.
he's presenting older than that.
Right. Watches an erotic dance, thrown into a wall, bitten in the arm, makes a crucifix out of a baseball bat and a shotgun, points a gun to his own head, blesses people and water, becomes a vampire, bites his son, loses half his head in holy water.
Oh yeah, like burnt his skin.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, and then this should have been first. Drives an RV. You know, as an actor, you want to seem as natural as possible, and he does a very good job. Some actors are terrible where they're just looking at the passenger the whole time.
Oh
You know
my
what I
gosh, I
mean?
hate that. Just takes you out of a movie, like you're just waiting for like the fucking car crash.
All right. Okay. So on to Matthew Lillard. Sum him up, John.
Well, he gets to spoiler alert, murder some folks. Um he gets to have like a parent rage induced breakdown kind of. He gets to be like kind of wacky, but also scary. Um, he gets to be hidden in a costume for a lot of the movie, if it's even him in there. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I think
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Skeet was the only one that got to dress up, I think.
Yeah.
Dave, anything else we missed?
Um, he was like there's Dewey, the cop, as well, but it's like Dewey and then also Lillard's character that are like the comedic relief of the movie,
Hmm.
and also like the guy who worked at the movie store, that guy. But they're like mostly like the comedic relief for the movie. Um, so just like movie wise, it was like I remember like watching it, like him being a killer was like, oh, that was out of nowhere. I just thought his character was there as comedic relief. I wasn't really considering him as a suspect.
Oh, dude, exactly. Like rewatching this because I've seen it so many times, but I'm like, no, I should rewatch every single movie. I was considering kind of just avoiding Scream, but I was like, nah, fucking watch it. And yeah, I never once considered him a killer. And when it's revealed that he is, I was kind of bummed out, but he's just as fun and just as entertaining. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so I've got some things that, as an actor, what does he have to do? He has to get hit in the forehead with a sucker, carry Rose McGowan over his shoulder. uh, Poor him, right? Uh, he gets he has to kiss Rose McGowan's neck. But mostly he's getting stabbed multiple times in this movie. He's bleeding to death. He gets bitten on the hand. He gets hit over the head with a vase. And finally electrocuted by a TV dumped on his head. Brutal stuff. Um, all right. So let's go on to finally Daniel Rigney. Dave, what do you think? What is he about?
Oh man, this he's in the island of Dr. Moreau. And this so he is well, I'm not even sure. There's a bunch of like mutant hybrid species on this island, and Daniel Rigby plays a half man, half hyena. I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
sure what was it.
that's his name, Hyena
Oh,
something.
okay,
Swine.
yeah, I couldn't
Oh
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, so and he like pulls they're all kind of controlled by like almost like a shock collar type device where they have an implant where they get shocked if they start to misbehave. And he's smart enough where he pulls his out and because he can't be controlled by that anymore, he kind of has freedom to kind of start uprising.
Oh yeah.
He also gets to have parent-induced rage issues. He gets to have issues with God too, just like Harvey Keitel.
Well, he wants to be God,
Right,
right?
exactly. We had a religious disagreement. He thought he was God, and I disagreed.
Okay, so I wrote down he eats a rabbit. He gets shocked. That's why he figures out to remove his thing. Witnesses his friend get killed in front of him in a public execution. That's brutal. He cries a lot. I don't know if you guys knew that, noticed that. He's got a limp. He kind of favors one leg over the other at all times. It's not like he's hurt, but that's the deformity that he's projecting. He uses two different voices. Sometimes he's just like, "Oh, father," and then sometimes it's like, "Hmm," like it's kind of, I don't know, it's like kind of refined or something. It's really bizarre. Um, he wears a lot of prosthetics and makeup. Like I'm wearing this fucking bandage over my face, and I couldn't do that for however long they had to shoot. You know what I mean? He plays the piano badly.
No, it
He
was really, as Moreau showed, it was actually quite good and quite, you know, um, I don't know, virtuistic.
Right, that's right. He listens to Rhapsody in Blue and calms down. If I was a hyena and I was like fucking pissed at my father figure, I would calm down listening to Rhapsody in Blue. It's like one of my favorite fucking songs of all time. So that was cool. He eats his father figure. He rides in a military jeep while shooting his assault rifle and blowing shit up. That was pretty awesome. He shocks people. He gets the shocker and shocks his brethren and sisterin. He gets shot by an assault rifle, gets hit by a baseball bat, and then burns alive. Ooh, brutal. All right. And with that, let us reveal the Reddit award winner. And the winner is Harvey Keitel
Really?
for From Dusk Till Dawn. And I just have to say this. This was a crazy race to watch because I posted it at the beginning of the month, I think, something like that. And it was Keitel and Lillard neck and neck for the longest time. And they would just, Lillard would shoot up, then Keitel. It was just like that. And then this last 2 days, 2 days ago, Combs had a surge, and he tied with Lillard, but then Keitel got like three more votes, and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, Keitel, congratulations. Keitel is first time nominated for the Reddit Award. Yeah, so
Reddit,
that's
more like watched it.
uh all right, what do we do now? Do we go into the second chunk of the show, or do you guys want to talk about the Reddit? Because oh,
Just curious, do you have numbers like how many total votes were there? And then
uh
how poorly did the other two nominees do?
I don't have like I could just say in general, Douglas
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
Rigney got like only a couple each. I think they're tied. And like I said, Combs, he got a bunch, and Lillard are tied. And then yeah, Keitel's just up there by like 3 points, something like that.
Do
Um,
you want to talk about the snubs or save that for
yeah,
later?
yeah. Joe Montagna in Thinner.
Montaigne?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you guys ever see that?
No.
I've
Thinner?
seen Thinner, but
Like paint thinner?
No, just slimmer body, thinner. Is he? I just remember the main character in that movie, so he couldn't have been a supporting actor. So I guess
No,
I'm not sure what character that is.
he plays, and I vaguely remember it. I watched a scene. I was like, oh yeah, he was good. Um, it's the main character who's he's obese lawyer, but he at the beginning of the movie he gets Joe Montagna off, and he's like a mobster. And then after that, he gets cursed, and he's like getting thinner and thinner. And Joe Montagna or whatever, fuck, Fat Tony from Simpsons, right? Isn't that him?
I don't know.
You don't? Well, okay. Well,
I don't
anyways,
know Fat Tony.
oh, The Simpsons. Come on. It would be a. I can't even do his voice, but it's very smooth and it's threatening. Anyways, but yeah, that might be a snub. That's on me. But you guys never even, you guys
Yeah, I've never
don't
even
know.
seen the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie, but I only remember the main character. I don't remember. But I mean, I saw the movie 15 years ago, so I'd need a refresher.
Yeah. And then Marlon Brando, as well as his little friend. The they were like they should have been like
Okay,
together.
I did like the little friend a lot, actually.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of that movie.
The mini me inspiration. That's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
And then oh shit, what's the name? I don't remember the name anymore. But someone from Tromeo and Juliet. Um, yeah, I didn't even look that up, but that someone said that was a snub. They should have been nominated. That's all I remember for now, though. But yeah, yeah. What do you guys think? Anything else about Reddit or Keitel
Um.
winning? I mean, John,
So
you sounded
like with
surprised.
yeah, and I would say like I'm a little I'm a little surprised, but also not surprised because I feel like if someone's voting on Reddit, they might not have seen all of the movies and all the performances. So like the most popular movies are Scream and not Day of the Dead,
From
From
Dusk Till
Dusk Till
Dawn.
Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah. So like those are the two most popular movies, I feel like. So those would get the most votes. Where some of the other movies, not everybody's seen The Frighteners or The Island of Dr. Moreau.
It's true. But yeah, that's Reddit for you. And oh my God. Okay, so just I've never experienced Reddit for so long, and it's kind of annoying because like one person was like, "Oh, so you're saying Kevin Spacey didn't deserve to win for The Usual Suspects?" And I'm like, "No, he deserved it, but The Usual Suspects is not a horror movie." And what would you know? Everybody one-upped my response, but ignored all the casting and the actual voting. It was so annoying. God damn it. It's like we are, you know, we're losing track of what's important here.
Yeah, you're maybe clinging onto the wrong aspect here.
Yeah. And then there was someone who was like, oh my God. He's like, is that last nominee supposed to be a joke? Well, anyways, Keitel, Lillard, Combs, I would give it to one of them, but I don't know. That's a good one. Tough question. And then he doesn't nominate anybody. So I'm like, okay, so you showed up to kind of diss what I presented and not really like bring anything to Matt Hagen, is that you? Welcome to Reddit. Oh, God damn it. But yeah, I don't know. I would do this again for Reddit. That was interesting. I really enjoyed that. Anything else for Reddit? Do we move on to the genre awards?
Um, Not about Reddit, but just a general question about the process. How'd you choose 1996? Did you just happen to think like, you know what, here's a handful of movies that I think have good performances in them, or did you randomly pick the year and then go from there? Like,
Oh,
how did this come about?
good question. Okay, so I just have to say there was two movies that just inspired the very idea. Q, The Winged Serpent with Michael Moriarty, and then Possession with Isabella. Fuck. And I was like, they should have been Oscar winning performances. What the fuck? So I was like, okay, well, what if I add some other people who I thought should win? And I was like, oh, Lillard in Scream. And then I just started throwing names out there. And then I'm like, well, let's do this real. Let's do my favorite. Let's do supporting, and it has to be from the same year. And Lillard was the only supporting I thought of out of that list. So I was like, okay, let's go to 96. And then I instantly saw all the movies that came out that year. And my mind was like, oh, Douglas, Combs, just immediately I knew my five. No. And I believe it's good. I mean, maybe there was a snub in Joe, but it happens, right? Yeah.
It happens. I mean, it has to happen if you have a limited number and there's like, six like performances you want to choose, like one of them has to go.
It's
It's the
true.
way it
It
works.
even happens nowadays with like 10 nominees. Somebody's like, oh, this other one should have been nominated. It's like, doesn't matter how much you expand the field, somebody's always going to feel like they got left out.
True dat. Okay, so before we present the genre awards, we're going to go into specifics, scenes, lines that we liked about these actors, but we'll go back to Combs. Go ahead, someone. Dave, go ahead.
What about him? Like my favorite scene of his,
Sure,
or
something like that, whatever.
um, I would just say, like, in the context of the movie The Frighteners, like, when I was watching it, I'd never seen the movie and I had no idea what it was. I just saw, like, the weird movie poster where it said The Frighteners and it's, like, white in color and there's, like, a weird ghost looking scary face. So I knew nothing about this movie going into it. And just watching the credits, it's like Fran Walsh, and I'm like, oh, she's Lord of the Rings. And it's like Peter Jackson. I'm like, oh, that's Lord of the Rings. And this is like Danny Elfman, and I'm like, oh my god, that guy's super famous. And I'm like Michael J. Fox, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm gonna love this movie. And then there's Michael J. Fox, and he can see ghosts, and there's like it's like Casper the Friendly Ghost, like where people are just he can see ghosts everywhere and he's Michael J. Fox's character is super like over it because he's so used to seeing ghosts. Like he sees the guy from Full Metal Jacket, and he's just like okay, and he's like rolling his eyes, walking away. He's like I don't want to hear it, old man. Like Michael J. Fox is so sick of this. It's like his job. He investigates ghosts and stuff like that, but he's kind of over it. And he doesn't really take it too seriously. But then when Jeffrey Combs' character shows up, I was so happy because I'm like, finally, someone's fucking taking this seriously. And he's like so amped up and he's taking everything so seriously. And that's why I loved it because it was such a tone shift for the movie where I was like, finally, I'm like, I can't believe you're seeing all these like hundreds of ghosts all the time. And you're just like, oh man, blah, 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 going about my day.
So I felt like he was giving like Jim Carrey energy, like a lot. Um, and then also Christopher Lloyd from Roger Rabbit energy.
Ooh.
Like it's like it really struck me like he was playing kind of a mix of the like those two things. Um, and like this isn't the fault of the performance, it's more the fault of the writing, but I felt like he just had too many things going on with him, like the whole like Nazi thing and everything else. I'm like, wait, how does that even play into this? Like I don't really understand. Um, but then um just as far as the movie goes, like it's really interesting, like facing threats from the ghost world and then threats from the real world, and like because the couple who does all the killing, and then they get that situation kind of under control, and then he shows up and he just fucks everything up, and um but yeah, like he managed to like maintain like the unhinged energy like the entire movie, I would say. Like he kept the energy up and was like insane the whole time.
Yeah, I remember when I saw it, I was thinking Jim Carrey a little bit, but I think Combs has been around before Carrey. So if anything, Carrey's probably aping off of Combs. Because if you watch his other stuff, Jeffrey Combs is like this. I mean, not exactly like this, but he's a scene chewer, he's over the top, and that's what Jim Carrey is, you know?
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, so I remember watching this movie, and as soon as he showed up, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" You know, like he's like everything is he's coming at everything in a weird fucking angle, but he's making me laugh. I think it's such a great comedic performance where he's talking about the utility knife was missing, and he's backing out of the room like like only cartoon characters do that, you know? It's absurd. But there's this cool thing as well where he's throwing you off. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but he's constantly switching stances in a shot where he's talking to someone, he's got his left shoulder towards you, you know, because he doesn't like to just stand and acknowledge you right away. He's got social anxiety or something like that, right? So he's like talking to you like this at an angle, and then you cut to Lucy, and she says something, and then he's talking, and he's like at a different stance. And it's just this subtle thing the movie does all the time where he's never the same. It's fucking weird. Like there's this continuity thing, but I think it's done on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I thought maybe it was like, oh, it's like an interrogation technique or something, where he's just showing you one side of him or something. But like, I didn't really understand like why, but I did notice that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um oh shit. So he like, you know, he devours he like relishes every single word and stuff like when he's saying like Frank Bannister bought 7 new blades that morning. Just like he just sinks his teeth into everything. It's crazy. And that's if you like this performance, check out Reanimator. He's like that's probably the most famous movie he's known for. Um, damn it, yeah, very good. I love the fact that like when he like he's so impatient with Lucy, but of course, you know when she yells, he just freaks out. Uh, oh man, that time where he's like trying to like use his mental abilities or whatever, that was truly
Oh
bizarre.
yeah. Yeah, and then like he believes that he's the one who like affected that outcome.
But then he doesn't like. He's like, no, no. Oh man, I've written so many stuff, but like just um, oh yeah, the quote when he shows, you know, reveals his scarred up body. He's like, my body is a roadmap of pain. Like, oh my gosh, like just the way he says it, that's classic horror delivery as well as when he's got the ashes, like, let me guess, you got to get these ashes to concentrated ground in order to destroy the forces of evil. Like, that was so good. That was classic horror delivery. And he was so irritating, though. I remember watching this movie where I'm like, what are you? Like, go away. But, like, he's making me laugh, but he just won't go away. Even after death, isn't he haunting that that squad car or something like that?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Anything else about Milton Dammers? Let's go on to Douglas. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so I'll say like, I was waiting a long time for him to show up, as you mentioned, 45 minutes. And at first I'm like, ooh, and he's coming like also unhinged. Because he does kind of have like crazy eyes and stuff in the beginning. Um, but then, that kind of goes away. And like you can tell like that as a character, like he's like acting different parts for different people that he interacts with, and like that's something interesting for an actor to do, I think, is to like how do you show that it's the character that's acting rather than that's how you're playing the role or whatever. And yeah, like we alluded to, like he's like in the situations with different scenes, he's always making sure to like let other people come out in the good light and like playing to them and stuff, which I thought was interesting. And also just yeah, presenting himself in different ways in different situations. Um and like um yeah, I guess like the main thing is just like I like from the beginning I just expected a completely different thing from what he ended up being for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and I just want to get this out of the way. I've seen him in plenty of movies, and he's good, but he's almost always like an asshole or an anti-hero or something. But no, this in this one, I really liked his character, and the majority of it, I mean, like the stuff that stands out is where he kind of reveals a little bit of himself through his stories or anything else like that. There, where Val Kilmer's like, "Have you ever failed?" He's like, "Just in life." That was pretty crazy. And
Yeah,
then,
and I really liked when he was so like they Val Kilmer tried the thing in the train car or whatever where somehow all three men failed to like fire a single bullet at the lion. But then like later on when Michael Douglas is asking about him and he's like, "Oh, you tried that?" Like, "Yeah. Did it work?" "No, but still a good idea."
yeah, that was
Yeah,
terrific.
I rewatched that scene in the train car because I'm like, wait, how in the hell did that not work?
I know.
And I rewound it and I'm like, oh my God, it was so funny.
Well, John, your letterbox, you were just like, they were idiots.
Yeah, I know. Like that's like the main thing, like that the movie should have been like half over at that point. I don't know how they were gonna get the other lion, but like
Oh man. Okay, so I think this is an interesting twist on it because I never picked this up. Like I've seen this movie enough, like it was my roommate's favorite movie, so I sat in on it and stuff. But I never picked this up until this movie where they're like, so, we're going hunting tomorrow. You don't seem excited. He's like, he kind of does this thing, and then they all kind of figure it out. It's like, oh, you don't like hunting. It's just something that he's good at. Like he calls it a gift, and he says later on in the movie, he's like, I have a career because someone invented gunpowder, and yeah. I think this was a very interesting character, He's got a lot
mhm.
of backstory in him, just things like after Val Kilmer, his gun doesn't go off. I don't know why he fucking accepted fucking Bernard Hill's gun, by the way. Holy shit. I was like, which Bernard are we getting? Titanic or Lord of the Rings? We got Titanic. But anyways, when the gun doesn't go off, Douglas is like, we have a saying in prize fighting. Everyone's got a plan until they get hit. So I'm like, he was a prize fighter. That makes sense. He seems like a Renaissance man where he's like, tried everything and shit like that. And didn't he lose his family to something? Remember that? He's like, the memory I wanted was the family that I lost. It's like, oh shit. Oh, oh, and then I love this moment that he does where Val Kilmer gets on that weird device that he built, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas." It's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, this is the month or something like that." It was just this thing that I really liked because Val Kilmer starts looking around and how like, there's no fucking snow here, but it also kind of brung him back home a little bit. I just thought it was a cool thing to say to someone that might, need something, you know? Ah,
The Ghost in the Darkness Christmas movie?
Oh my God. You're going to be visited by three ghosts and a darkness. Damn it. Um, hmm. I think that's about. Oh, I love that when he's about to join that battalion of hunters or whatever. They're gonna fucking cut that cow and drink their blood and stuff. And he says something like, "All right, I'm gonna go. We got to convince ourselves that we're still brave." I was like, "Oh shit," because that's all it is, right? You're trying to psych yourself up with the tradition, and yeah, this was the only time I really liked Douglas in a movie. He's good, but he's like I said, he plays assholes and shit. Crazy.
Yeah,
All
I've
right.
only seen him in Romancing the Stone and
Uh-huh.
The Game. And both of those movies are good. And like I've seen Michael Douglas's face like all the time, but I just happen to never really watch his movies. So I was interested to watch this movie just because I don't really know much about him or how he is in other roles really. Like in The Game, he's kind of just a very I don't know, this is kind of just a bland regular business guy.
Yeah, like
It's a great movie. I love the
overprivileged.
movie, but yeah.
Which one's the Verhoeven one? Is that Fatal Attraction? Um,
Maybe.
Yeah, he's in that.
with the ice pick,
Oh, what am I? What am I
or
thinking?
the
Fatal.
Basic Instinct. I get those two confused.
Right. Yeah. It's like Glenn Close. That's
Yes,
Attraction, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And then Sharon Stone is the Ice Pick, right? Basic Instinct.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
totally conflating both of those movies. But anyway, in the one that he's in, is just like, oh, feel bad for me because like I cheated on my wife and it didn't go well.
Right. Right. Okay. Let's move on to Keitel. Let's see here. I don't know. We kind of summed up a lot of his stuff, but I think
Yeah,
the
I'll say this one almost rings as a category fraud to me.
Keitel.
Like, yeah, not I definitely see him as supporting, but like in my memory, like I haven't seen this since like high school probably, and I I didn't even remember George Clooney was in it. Like really,
Oh
I
wow.
remembered like Keitel and his family as kind of like being the leads, and I was like very surprised by like the whole opening stuff and the gas station and whatnot. Like I had forgotten that the leads were, or like George Clooney as the lead was even that that much bigger of a role.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I think Keitel is so good in this role that George upped his game. Like he's really good in this movie. In all of his scenes with Keitel, he's not doing the shake my head. I'm Mr. ER star. You know what I mean? He was just like, oh shit, Keitel's a real fucking actor. I have to like, you know, adjust to him. Um, oh my God. Okay,
yeah,
so what I noticed though, he never stops playing it as in he's in a hostage scenario or whatever. I noticed in his delivery in a lot of his lines it's hesitant and he never lets that go. I mean like he is more assertive towards the end where he's like, fucking you got to swear to me that but it's he's very hesitant. He's very soft spoken. He just nails this fucking role of like, I am in this terrible situation and shit. And I have to say though, my favorite scene, like they usually show the scene before they're like Harvey Keitel in this scene. So this would be the scene where like George is trying to get his family to do shots. And he's like, no. And then finally it's like, are you such a fucking loser? You don't know when you've won? And George is like, what'd you call me? And he's like, Nothing. I didn't make a statement. I asked a question. Would you like me to ask it again? I'm like, holy shit. I just love how he's just kind of like he's he knows this moment. He has to get George in control in some way. But the line of like he's like the entire state of Texas, as well as the FBI, are looking for you. The way he hits FBI, oh, it's so good. Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. It was just, it like opened my eyes and I was just like, yes. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Because it was, I don't know. I felt like in the movie, you know how it's kind of two parts. You have like the beginning part and then the second part. And the beginning part, George Clooney is the main actor. And then the second part, like Harvey Keitel kind of takes over. At least he takes over my focus, where I'm more focused on him because his acting is just the best thing about that second half of the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when he's bit and then he charges, like he kind of does this yell and stuff. I was like, oh shit, he's fucking pissed. But like the other great scene is, of course, where they're held up in that storage room, and that's when they're like, "Are you bit?" He's like, "Yeah," and George is pissed off, and Juliet's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" Or he's like, "No, I'm not." He's just very matter of fact, and that is exactly what I would want from my father figure if he was bit. I wouldn't want him to be like, no, no, everything's fine and shit like that. I just love that he's just like, no, I'm not. In fact, I'm already dead. It's
Yeah,
just,
especially when you
oh,
just see like what like a lot of people would do is like just hide it and then fuck everyone over because of your cowardice.
yeah. And he's like, we got about an hour before I change. And that's that great other scene too, where he's like, you have to swear to me that you'll kill me when I turn and shit. That's so good. God damn. Very good. And oh my God, we almost forgot one of my favorite lines though, where George is like, so are you a faithless preacher? Are you a mean motherfucking servant of God? He goes, he fucking slowly puts on his glasses. He's like, I'm a mean, mm, servant of God. I was like, that was fucking perfect. Oh, fantastic. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then this is a horror film, right? It is so creepy when those vampires are circling him and he, raises his shotgun or whatever. He's out of bullets, but he's like ready to throw down and they stop. They're not attacking. In that 1 second, he's looking at him. He's like, what's going on? Then you cut to his back and he starts to like fucking morph. He kind of just changes his posture, and he's a fucking vampire now. Oh my gosh, it was devastating. And then what does he do? He bites his own son. Holy shit.
I mean, it's what he said he was going to do. He's a man of his word, if nothing else.
Ah, shit. Okay, anything else?
Like when I judge a lot of these like supporting actors in their roles, you got to judge them against the other people in the other movies, but you're also like putting them like in their own movie. Who are they working with in these scenes? And I felt like Harvey Keitel, he did work with, George Clooney and Cheech Marin, but also
Three
Juliette
times.
Lewis, his kids, Juliette Lewis and his son are not good actors. And
Oh,
he
I
was
disagree.
phenomenal. You
I think the
disagree?
son sucks. The son sucks. I
Yeah,
think
he
Julia
he was
Lewis is
bad.
very good.
Uh
Uh,
her character grew on me and I thought it got better, but I still felt like Harvey Keitel was making some of those scenes amazing. With like just that last scene where he's talking about like, swear to me you're gonna kill me, and he's talking to both his son and daughter. Like I didn't like either of their performances in that scene, but I loved his performance.
Scott, we have even less time, so you have this to the count of three. That's amazing. All right. Let's go on to Lillard. I don't know who's up. Dave?
Um, so like Matthew Lillard, you just want me to talk about his role or what I liked about him?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's the comedic relief, and he's I I like his character so much. Like every scene he's in, it like it's better. Like it's one of the better scenes in the movie. Like, and I think the same goes for David Arquette and Dewey. I love his character too, and every scene he's in really like is great. And then like a lot of the scenes that just have like Nev Campbell in it, like I don't really care and I'm kind of bored. And because there's just certain performances that like really carry it. And then like stuff with there's Courtney Cox and David Arquette, those scenes are phenomenal as well. Um and Matthew Lillard, like just the entire ending sequence, the last 15 minutes of the movie are so damn good. And it's probably it might be the best ending sequence to any horror movie ever. Like there's the reveal, the performances, like, and also like in the context of like, if you're watching it in 1996 and you've watched all the Halloween and Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger movies, and then like the reveal of everything, and his performance in that was so great. It's just iconic. It's just one of the best scenes ever.
Yeah, apparently he's only in the movie for 11 minutes.
Wow.
I didn't count other people's things. I kind of wish I did now, but yeah, someone put up uh they were like all Stu Macher's scenes in Scream, and yeah, it was like 11 minutes. Um they missed out a couple of frames technically. I was watching it, but whatever. Okay, so
That's
yes.
crazy though, because like, I mean, that speaks to his performance that he feels like so much more of a part of it with so little screen time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Dave, he's like comedic relief, right? I really like. Oh, so he's got two big scenes. He's got the video store scene, and then he's got the kitchen scene. The video store scene is so good because it's Randy who's going on the rant, and Stu is just kind of like, "Hey, come on, man." He's like kind of looking around, kind of getting embarrassed. You know what I mean? Or he like going like, "Oh, he's high. Don't worry about him," or something like that, right? And then when Randy's like, "So now that Billy tried to mutilate her, do you think Sid will go out with me?" And that's when he's just laughing in his face. And then a total switch was like, "No, I don't at all." That was very good. I love that. And but the thing that was the best part of that scene is when Billy confronts Randy and Stu's like draped over Randy's shoulder, and he's like, "What would be your motive?" And he plays with Randy's earlobe. It was just a funny little thing. And I forgot to mention this. Um, but like behind the scenes, this even the writer Kevin Williams had admitted he's like this character was written very flatly. It was just like he's a wannabe Billy, but he can't be. That's about it, right? So Matthew Lillard improv a lot of his jokes just to kind of beef up the part and stuff. And yeah, a lot of his scenes are improvised. Like when he gets hit in the back of the head by the phone. That wasn't supposed to happen. Like it was Skeet was supposed to throw the phone against the wall, but the blood was so sticky that it just flew into his head. And Lillard just does that, you know? And then he also improvised the part where he's like, "My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me." Like that.
Oh man.
Oh, I love that
That's like,
part.
yeah, I know. That's like kind of like the iconic line of his performance.
Oh my gosh. And all the stuff in the kitchen though is fantastic. I mean, I wrote so much stuff down because every little thing is done so well. Like when it's time to get stabbed, when he's like, "All right, let's go." Like he is so fucking pumped and ready to get stabbed, but it's you're just like, "All right, let's do this." And then of course, every stab that he gets, it's like a different sort of pain that he does. Like the very last stab that he gets, you know, you really feel it, you know? Oh, and I was watching the scene where Courtney Cox has the gun. She's like, fucking, your plan is bullshit or whatever. When she's talking, Matthew, if you look at Matthew Lillard, he's like dozing off from the lack of blood, even though she's pointing a gun at them. He's just like, oh man, great shit. Like, oh
Yeah, I
fuck, yeah,
think another thing is like you watch the movie and you have that reveal at the end that he was one of the killers. So then when you rewatch the movie, then you get to really like you're paying attention way more to his smaller role. And then you kind of see the evolution of his character the second time, where he's just the funny guy, and then in like the movie store, you see a little bit more of his character, and then it's like kind of peeling back the layers of the depth of his character. You're like, oh, he's not just a happy, funny guy. He's got like a darker, angrier side to him, and you start to see it, and he's kind of pissed off at the world, and you're like, oh, okay.
right. John, did we leave out anything?
I don't think so.
Um, oh, I have to include this because this is just in terms of the Scream franchise. I think that Skeet and Matthew are so good in this role, and there's a reason why the other roles aren't as good, is because they were given the script, the actual script, in the ending. They knew they were the killers, right? So they fucking approached it that way. Meanwhile, Scream 2, Scream 3, all those people, they are given scripts but no ending. How the fuck are you supposed to play a character if you don't know if you're the killer or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had no idea about that. Um, that's crazy.
Yeah. And one
Like
of the
why do
things,
they do that? Just to avoid leaks or what?
yeah, yeah. And to me, that's so stupid. It's just, I don't know. But okay. So Lillard knows he's the killer, right? So what he does is he's like, I want to foreshadow or hint that I am the killer by replicating the mask with the elongated mouth. That's why he makes sure to stick his tongue out a lot during the movie. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but yeah, that was great. It was
I
awesome.
thought that was just his natural behavior.
um, yeah, I mean, so good. Like, I'm feeling a little woozy here. She looked dead, man. Still does. Like, oh, and then again, the performances, he's so hyperactive, but he's slowly dying in front of you. It's a very odd performance, a dual like performance that he has to do. And he's so charged up that at the end, when the TV's dropped on his head and he's electrified, the last thing you hear is him just like slowing down finally. It's like like that. It's crazy. All right. Anything else? Let's go to finally Rigney. Um, I wrote this on Reddit, even though okay, whatever. Who ever heard of a sad hyena? I think this is on
All
the
right,
spectrum.
looking back to the Lion King, there was the
Like,
dopey hyena.
but he's all his dialogue is laughing.
Yeah.
You're talking about Ed. He rarely laughs. You know, that's the immediate thing that I noticed in this movie where I'm like, oh, come on, hyena. Like, but he's so fucking sad. He cries a lot in this movie. When he confronts Marlon Brando and he smashes the piano, he's like, what am I? Like he does such a fucking good job. I think this is a completely like pained performance, physically because he's mutated, but emotionally, probably spiritually because he's supposed to believe in Brando, you know. But then he realizes it's just shock. So he's like, if there's no pain, is there not law? You know. Uh, damn. I think in this, in drama, there's two masks, right? Comedy and tragedy. Now, Combs, Lillard, they're all the way over to comedy, but fucking Rigney's all tragedy, you know? Not even Douglas is kind of in the tragedy zone. Maybe Keitel a little bit because it's mourning, but I felt this performance so moving and so unsettling when he says he's like, "Tell them I'm God." It's horrifying. Like James wrote reviews for all these things or rankings and stuff, and he compared it to Animal Farm, where they get in power but they get corrupted and shit like that.
Mhm.
I was like, just because there's animals in there. But I just love this performance. I think it's one of the most haunting things when he goes into the fire to burn himself alive and he goes, "Father, why?" That honestly still lives with me today because um, when someone says like something, why, I think of father, why, but like, dramatically and shit like that. So yeah. What do you guys got to say about the rigs?
There's excuse me, themes of in there's a Dostoevsky quote in the Brothers Karamazov, if there is no God, then everything is permissible, which is what I thought of a lot with this whole thing. Like if there if there's no pain, there's no law. Like if there's like no father figure to exert the pain on us, then there's no law. We can do whatever we want. And he really drives that point home in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
And
and I
yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was just to say, like, off of that, like, from his perspective, the world is just the island. He's never seen anything outside of the island. And to him, Dr. Moreau is God. He's his father, creator. Like, he's in charge of everything. So, from his perspective, like, his creator is, a monster because he's torturing him and all the other people or hybrids that they've created, and he just sees all this terrible stuff around him. like like from his perspective, he's just such a tortured character.
Yeah, like I remember watching the movie and the cheetah character was badass. And I just noticed he had a little friend, the hyena friend. And then as soon as the cheetah character gets killed, I'm like, what the fuck? But that sends off the unassuming hyena to have to like carry on and like figure things out and start, a revolution or whatever. Oh man, it's so fucking good. I think this was totally the underdog. Like I don't know. From what I could like on Reddit, like I said, like there wasn't much Rigney love.
Yeah, and like it's um hard for like just because he's wearing all the prosthetics and makeup and everything to like just think of him as like the actor that he is and like judge the performance in that way because like just um seeing how he looks and not easily identifiable and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like he's in all the makeup, so it's kind of like a Planet of the Apes vibe. And I think it was like the same makeup or costume designer.
Oh shit, really? That's cool.
I think that's what I saw on Wikipedia. And like I'd never heard of this movie, and watching it, I was like, I easily thought it was the worst movie out of, well, this and The Frighteners were my two least favorite. Um, but it just because like this movie, it had so much potential. Like The Island of Dr. Moreau had so much potential. Like the just the concept of it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like Lost. They're on a mysterious island. There's weird cages. There's weird science experiments going on. Um, but then like to read after I watched the movie, to read all the stuff about like the production problems and the changing of directors and actors and Val Kilmer's whole thing and like Brandau's whole thing. Like they made a whole documentary on the making of this movie. And it was such a shit show. It makes this performance like even better once you know like what. everything, all the craziness that was going on around him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about it. Okay, do we reveal now the genre award winner?
Sure. And I'll just say to Dave's point earlier about the popularity of the film, like I never said like, oh, you should have seen all of these or anything like that. I just put the list and said vote for what you want. So I'll go from least least votes to most. Unfortunately, as you said, our underdog, Rigney, 0 votes.
Is wait, hyenas are part of the dog family, I believe, so that works even more.
That's right. Um, and then tied for 2 votes, we've got Michael Douglas and Jeffrey Combs.
Wow. Okay.
3 votes, we've got Harvey Keitel. And then 22 votes for Matthew Lillard.
Wow.
So yeah, a complete blowout. We if we were including this in the other vote, it could have definitely swung it for him.
Holy shit. You know what? As soon as I messaged people, I had the list. Everyone was like, "Oh, Lillard!" Like everyone remembers him in that movie. So I figured it was going to be a clean sweep. But hey, Keitel won on Reddit. So now we have two different winners. Who's going to be a possible third, or like that's that's
Or a
crazy.
tiebreaker, perhaps. Who
Ooh,
knows?
yeah. Who knows? Yeah, because I don't even know your guys' votes. All right, so let's wrap this up with the final segment here where we're going to go one by one and reveal who we voted for and why or whatever. Dave, I want you to go first. And then I'll
Oh,
go, and then
okay.
John, and then I'll count them all up.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have a little of a prelude here.
Yes.
Um, I had watched out of these 5 movies, I'd seen Scream before, and I'd seen um, I can never remember the name of the movie with Harvey Keitel.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. I always want to call it Dawn of the Dead. It's too many D's.
You're thinking
I'd
about the
seen both of
future.
those. I'd seen both of those movies before. Um, so rewatching them, I watched The Frighteners first. And then I watched, let's see, it's not Scream. I watched The Frighteners, then I watched The Ghost in the Darkness, then Scream, then uh I don't remember. It might have been Dr. Moreau,
Hmm.
but um and I out of all these movies, I felt like when you're kind of trying to pick, for me, when I'm trying to pick the best supporting actor, I'm like, who like elevates the movie where he takes the movie and is, literally supporting it with his arms, like trying to lift it up, like making it great. And all of these people like made their movies better, but some of the movies were like, I think they were just bad movies. So no matter how good the performance was, sorry, Daniel Rigby, you just it was an impossible job. Like he wasn't gonna win it almost because the movie was just so bad, and also I feel like I couldn't give it to him because of all the prosthetic stuff. Like if I had to rank like which was the hardest acting job, he would win it for sure. And it was a phenomenal performance. However, when I was done watching that movie, it was just still an icky taste in my mouth. And it's to no fault of his own. It was a phenomenal performance. I just couldn't vote for him to be the winner. Harvey Keitel's performance, I loved it. Um, but I've seen so many Quentin Tarantino movies. Watching this movie, I was just annoyed at Quentin Tarantino the entire movie. And Harvey Keitel was like the one, and I don't really like George Clooney because I just get Batman and Robin flashbacks. So like I love Harvey Keitel in this movie, and he's the only like redeeming factor that like really makes this movie great to me. Um, but he's just a little bit short. Matthew Lillard in Scream is amazing. I love him. To me, it came down to Jeffrey Combs and Michael Douglas. Those were my two favorite performances. Um, and at this, like, I can't really like knock it. With any of these performances, I can't knock their performance. I'm kind of just like, I didn't like that movie as much,
Mhm.
or I thought this person, their character interested me more. And that's not always the actor. Sometimes that's the writer, the director, like what they're asked to do. Um, but to me, I am going to award my best supporting actor to Michael Douglas in The Ghost in the
Ooh.
Darkness. He barely edges out Jeffrey Combs. But Michael Douglas was just so good. And part of it to me might be because The Ghost in the Darkness is such a good movie to me and I like it. But like Val Kilmer's in it, super famous movie star. Val Kilmer is not particularly a great actor. He's kind of like a Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's
Oh.
like a leading man, but like he doesn't. I didn't feel like until Michael Douglas's character, then Val Kilmer in like the last 10 minutes of the movie, then I was like, oh yeah, this is like a badass Val Kilmer. I wish I would have seen this earlier in the movie when it comes to the Ghost in the Darkness. Um, Michael Douglas, like his last scene where they get the kill on the one lion and they were in the lion's den and they get that last kill and then they're all around the campfire, the three of them, and they're kind of just talking and they're drinking the champagne. Michael Douglas is so good in that scene. He's good in all his scenes, but it really I just love that scene where they're talking. Val Kilmer starts talking, but even when Val Kilmer's talking, what did the editors do? They're just showing Michael Douglas's face and his reaction and him listening and watching the fire. And I'm just like, man, he's such a good actor. Like even when he's not talking, they're still just showing his performance because it was so good. You couldn't cut it out. Um, un, like the other thing I'll say is The Ghost in the Darkness. I like the movie a lot. The sound was amazing, like the music in it, and they won an Oscar for like sound editing.
Oh
I
shit.
saw that afterwards. It totally makes sense. Um, and I loved the kind of style of movie it was because it was like you're going on an adventure. You go to like Africa and you're kind of like seeing the world through Val Kilmer's character, where you're just introduced to this new place and you have this job that you're supposed to do. And then the movie kind of transitions to like, oh, we have this problem. The lions are eating everyone. And it kind of has like a country or a Western movie where they're walking around with guns through the woods. And then you have the scenes, and like every Western movie is always the same, where you have the scenes, you're walking around in daylight outside with your guns. And then it's nighttime and you still got your guns and you ain't going to bed. Like this, you have to protect yourself and you're scared. And it kind of reminded me of the movie Predator, where they're in the woods and there's like this camouflaged thing hunting them and they just have their primitive weapon that they're trying to defend themselves with. Um, I don't know. The movie was great. I thought Michael Douglas's performance was awesome. And the last thing I'll say is Michael Douglas's voice in this movie. I haven't watched a lot of his movies, so I'm not sure if he always talks this way. But his voice in this movie, it sounded like he was doing a subtle Jack Nicholson,
Nicholson.
yeah, Jack Nicholson impersonation. And it was just the way he talked. It reminded me of Jack Nicholson. And I'm not sure if that was on purpose or does he always talk like that? I don't know. I kind of noticed it. And I don't know if maybe you guys noticed that.
I did not.
That's I would say that's his voice.
Is it?
And I well, he has one of the most badass entrances out of the five, where it's like got the gun to that fucking guy. He's like change in plans or whatever. Like, oh, it was terrible, Douglas, but he's so good. I just want to throw out there though, Dave. He was never going to play this character. He was just a producer for the movie, and they wanted Sean Connery or Anthony Hopkins to play that character, but they both passed. So Douglas is like, "Oh fuck, all right, I'll do it," But
Yeah, I was
he's
reading
good.
that. Yeah, it was I felt like it was better with him than some of those like Sean Connery or I think Anthony Hopkins, I think they're both great, but like Douglas was so good in this role. I just can't imagine it with anybody else.
Oh yeah, awesome. All right. I'll go and then John, you'll go. Okay, so this is who I voted for. Um, this was extremely tough. I just want to say that. It was easier to find the nominees than to actually vote because I don't know why, but I was like, oh, but if Daniel Rigney doesn't win, or like if Douglas, you know what I mean? Like there was this weird things going through my head.
Then they won't be friends with me.
Yeah. Except Rigney's dead. Oh, by the way, yeah. He died
Spoiler
like a
alert.
year after he made that
Oh,
movie.
really?
Yeah, he had like a brain hemorrhage or some shit. It was, yeah, it's really too bad. And he was only in movies for like 2 years, so he only made like so many movies. Yeah, but what a talent. But anyways, so this is what it came down to, though. Really, for me, it was Combs made me laugh, Rigney made me cry. It reminded me of the 2003 race of Bill Murray versus Sean Penn, you know? And I really had no idea who should have won. Even on this end, I wasn't sure, but I ended up going with Jeffrey Combs. I think it is so awesome. I laugh at everything. Like I quote, I can think of all his lines and stuff. It's so absurd and fantastic. I absolutely love that performance. So yeah, I'm Combs.
All right. Well, I will say every actor did what was required of them for the role. Like, Jeffrey Combs was a cartoon character that that movie needed. Um, and I will say also that The Frighteners was the only movie of the five that I had never seen. Although before rewatching it, I would have told you I had never seen The Ghost in the Darkness before. Must have been pretty young when I watched it because when I was watching it, it came back to me, but I went into it thinking I had never seen it before. Um, and I'm someone who doesn't like rating and ranking things, so I feel like a fraud coming on here. I've also said before that I don't necessarily have the skills to identify what a good acting performance is. So one thing I was thinking of is like how much is like an actor just being themselves and how much are they actually doing a performance? And um unfortunately, like Rigney, I don't know him from anything else. Like probably because he wasn't, didn't have much time to be in that much else. So I wasn't able to grade him on that. And like Matthew Lillard, I thought he was great, but like he was kind of just doing his thing. And Harvey Keitel, you could kind of think like, well, normally he's like the tough badass, like in control of the situation, but in the like I just kind of felt like, well, no, he's just like playing his like super competent, like, like secretly in control of the situation. Um so um I'm gonna agree with Dave and go with Michael Douglas that
Holy
like
shit.
yeah, like to Vince your point earlier that like everything he's in, he's just so like unlikable and like good and stuff, but like this is like a role I've never seen him in, and it's kind of weird where like likable is like the strange like stretch for someone who's like, like a movie star, but like I do feel like between that and just like him playing a character who's like playing different roles and stuff, I thought was really good.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked his character. Okay, so thank you for the vote. And now I will reveal the winner of the Recollection Award. And just a reminder, Keitel won the Reddit, Lillard won the genre. And now we have the Recollection Award winner, and it goes to it's a split vote.
Oh, come on.
Boo.
Is it Keitel and Lillard?
Keitel and Douglas.
Oh, wow. So I really threw a wrench in the works in the last second here.
Wow. That's crazy. You know what though? I accept that because the very first Oscars ever had a tie for Best Picture. So that's fine. We are basically the same. So.
Yeah, I mean, every first ceremony has to have a tie.
Douglas and Keitel split it. That's crazy because those guys are the movie stars, you know? Like those like people know them. Yeah. And both those guys have been nominated for the actual Oscars. Harvey Keitel in Bugsy, Best Supporting Actor, and then Douglas won Best Lead in Wall Street. So you guys are just suckers for the fucking marquee headliners. That's all that is.
That's right.
That's what kind of makes it difficult trying to judge these things because I felt like Douglas and Harvey Keitel were like in a league of their own. And then I felt like, because they've had so much success. So, and then there's also like what John was saying about how much are you acting away like from like your normal self? Because like remember when Eddie Redmayne won Best Actor for playing Stephen Hawking?
Right.
And it was like I think Michael Keaton from Birdman was the best actor that year, but Eddie Redmayne ends up winning the award because like, oh, he played a disabled man in a wheelchair and he had to do a body transformation and act like he had a disease that he didn't have. And it was like, yeah, it was a great acting, but like, is it just because you're stretching your normal self to do something different? Or like, and the same thing with the year before with Dallas Buyers Club when Matthew McConaughey, lost like 70 pounds or whatever and looked rail thin and like had AIDS. And it was like, oh, yeah, it's great performance, no doubt. But like when you do such a transformation from your normal self, like it gets you a lot of votes.
Yeah. Douglas grew his hair out.
What a transformation.
I actually love it. Like I said, I think all five of these performances were very good. I'm glad that you guys agreed to participate, and thank you everyone else who got in on the action. This was a lot of fun. But I can't believe it. Three out of the five have won awards. That's ridiculous. The two big losers are Combs and Rigney. That's crazy to me. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I guess that's the show. Let's all walk to the one stage, and then you see the presenters. They're like, "No, you got to turn that way." We're like, "Oh yeah." So many people at the Oscars do that. They walk the wrong direction. You ever notice that?
Yeah, it's like exit stage right or left. What?
Right.
What? Is
Audience
stage left to my left or the audience's left?
All right. Well, that's the show. You know what? I was Vincent Cloud.
I was John Nemitz.
And I was David Lauer.